Buddy, is Bitcoin and the crypto market and global markets in general, what's happening with them? Is Bitcoin over? Is your favorite altcoin over? Let's take a look at the markets right now. Not looking the best. We will start with, I think, yeah, the general market, the equities, stock market. I'm watching the S&P right now. It just opened actually, and they're having a small pump. I want to take a look at this if we're live at 10 a.m. to see if we get like the 10 a.m. reversal and we start coming down. But taking a general look at the S&P 500, like breaking below the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA is generally not good. If we get the death cross right here, we would have switched from an uptrend to a clear downtrend. So if we're in a downtrend in the S&P 500, you could just assume how other markets would react from that. You can see when we had the death cross here, the last time we did for the S&P 500, I pray for Ukraine. If anybody's in Russia or Ukraine, Ukraine specifically, actually, it's really sad, especially if you know, civilians, if people who aren't supposed to get hurt end up getting hurting. It's really crazy, honestly. So and with the crypto markets in general, like people, anybody who bought in the last few weeks, months, most likely are down right now. So like the world's in a crazy place, the markets are tanking. So right now people need some guidance, need to know what to do with their finances, with their crypto and things like that. But you can see last time we broke here was the March crash, the COVID crash, Black Thursday. And it's not looking good. So if we look at Bitcoin, I was looking at a few things. We do Bitcoin analysis videos maybe once or twice a week. I go live once or twice a week, once every 2 weeks or a week or whatever. But if we look on the weekly, there's a few things that I want to point out. And if anybody has questions, you can throw them out as well. But there's a few things that I look for. And let me remove all these drawings right now. I made a video. Bitcoin is going to see this huge buy signal. I was looking for the flip of the 4 and 9 EMA. We didn't get it. This would have been the first exit, 58K. I was watching the EMA closely. And then over the last few days in the Discord, I was mentioning that we need to actually break over this prior high right here. Even if we did break over that high, with what's happening in the world right now, we may have broke down anyways. It may have not even mattered, but we saw weakness here. We weren't able to break past this previous lower high. And then we broke down. I was watching. So on the weekly, we got the cross for the 4 and 9. And on the daily, we had another cross here. I was watching for us to break above, but we broke down and we got the 4 and 9 cross. Why I'm mentioning this is because a lot of people are asking, should I sell now? And I think that we've fallen pretty badly enough. Like, look at this. From the top, about 52%. And then from this recent drop, we fell 25% without any solid bounces. So if you look at the RSI as well on the weekly, this is what I wanted to point out. You can see that we are getting down to, we're not there yet at oversold, but we're getting down to some pretty low levels like that we haven't seen in a while. This was at the bottom of the bear market in 2018, almost going to 2019. This was the bear market after the 2013 rally. This was COVID. You can see we're almost at the COVID crash right now. Like we can dub this as the Russia-Ukraine war or whatever it may be. What's up, Risky Gaming? So what I want to show you guys is if you missed the selling, 50% from the top, a large drop without any decent bounce, there may be more risk, definitely more downside, but the risk to reward selling here and then missing out some sort of pump might not be it for you. If you bought, months ago in October, November, December, January, most likely you are actually down. And you may want to exit at this price. You may want to exit, but I say don't make an emotional decision. Everybody's negative right now. There's so much talks of war, a bear market. It's hard to say. Nobody knows where the price is going. Hell, I don't know where it's going, but I'm just looking at a few things. I'm waiting for some sort of bottom to be put in. I'm looking at the RSI here, and you can see like this is on the weekly, so it does take a little bit more time. But when we had this RSI downtrend, you can see when we broke above here is when Bitcoin, the momentum shifted and we went in an uptrend. So you can see here resistance, resistance, resistance. And, hindsight, everybody says, yeah, you're just charting the past, but can you actually use it and make some money, save your portfolio, or whatever it is in the future? And I really do think you can. You just really need to be patient and take action. So you can see here, awesome buy. Similar setup right here where we had a huge downtrend. And then you can see COVID right here. This was the buy, downtrend, broke above, retested, broke above, retested, and we pushed up into a huge bull market. So now with the RSI on the weekly, and I'm just looking at larger time frames right now. And then we'll move to smaller time frames. If we're looking at RSI, you can see it's working its way down. I don't think the downward pressure, I don't think the lows in right now, we can still push the low 30s or even test the 28K low that we got here. If we actually break that, I think 24, like the 26, 23, 24K, we have some support there. We had some small consolidation. So we'll take a look at that. But when you get this break in RSI and we get the 4 and 9, I mean, if you're in stables right now, that is when I would deploy my stables. And you could use this for Ethereum as well. So if we can quickly take a look at Ethereum, you can see same type of thing. RSI is working its way down heavily here. I don't know how I'll put that. Yeah, I could put it like this. RSI is working its way down. It's at lows. Where was the last time? You can see here, the lowest this has been was literally the COVID crash. It just shows you what type of market, the sentiment we're in right now. There's massive fear. And the COVID crash minted many millionaires and billionaires. If you stay patient and you really are rational and you look and wait for that awesome setup, you look for your favorite coins, maybe some of the coins that have retraced the most from the top, and you wait for the shift in RSI and momentum, you wait for the 4 and 9 on the weekly or the daily, and then you take that buy. There's a lot of money to be made. There is a lot of money to be made. We fell, far from the top. So same thing with Ethereum. It's just free falling. It's looking like it's coming to massive support here. We either hold or we break down to lows. Which I'm hoping we actually just hold. So that's it on the weekly. Like I'm looking for a larger setup right here. I'm looking for the RSI to break out. I'm looking for the 4 and 9 to flip. Aside from that, if we go to the daily right now, let me throw on these. I didn't do that for the weekly. It's very possible we actually come and test this moving average right here. So I mean, if we come down to 25K, we would still be in a bull market. Technically, not in a bull market. We'd still be, I worded that wrong. We would still be in an uptrend. Bitcoin would still be up in an uptrend on larger time frames. You have to think about how much we've moved up from COVID, from the 10 grand, actually all the way from $3,000 to $69,000. And now there's huge uncertainty in the world. There's a lot of people, de-risking, taking off, just removing their their capital from assets like Bitcoin, like stocks as well. We've seen one asset, I mean, gold, oil, they're pumping right now. And I think that it just shows you that Bitcoin is still very early. The technology is still very early, and people aren't as confident as it, where you see gold is pumping, and it looks like it's going to test its all-time high at 2075. Whereas we should have seen Bitcoin do this. But I think with the technology still being very new and a lot of people are not familiar with how to, easily onboard, use fiat to buy and sell. I mean, we don't have the easiest solutions, but I would have loved to see Bitcoin do this in this type of situation we're in, but it might take some time and there might be a lot of great opportunities for us. Also, I wanted to take a look at the crypto fear and greed. It's at 23 right now. I believe tomorrow it'll be at the low 10, 11, 12, unless we get a bounce. But because this is a little bit delayed, last month was 12, and there's definitely more fear in the market than there was last month, in my opinion. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Usually you want to be buying the blood. And let me, I don't know if I could pull up Glassnode right now. Am I logged in? I am not logged in. Okay, awesome. So the thing is, I want to see what people with Bitcoin are doing over the last couple of weeks, months, you could say. So if I went the last 3 months, so people with 0.01 Bitcoin are stacking. You can see the price coming down, but they are stacking. People are accumulating, which is good. People with 0.01 Bitcoin, wow, they are stacking Bitcoin too. You can see how many is that? 3.3 million addresses to 3.3. Wow, 300,000 people. Am I reading that right? 300,000 new addresses with 0.1 Bitcoin. People are stacking Bitcoin. There's a huge divergence in people buying Bitcoin. And this is just shrimps, though. This is, not whales. With people with 1 Bitcoin are stacking Bitcoin from 800,000 to 815,000. Let's see what the whales are starting to do. At 10 Bitcoins, generally not a whale. This is stagnant. 100 Bitcoins, it's slowly rising up. You have price coming down, but you have Bitcoin whales are starting to accumulate. This is what I like to see. I just started with Glassnode, honestly, so I don't have, there's so much. There's so many things you could do here. Here, you kind of see, what date is this? 21st of February. Okay, so over the last few days, there have been new wallets with 1,000 Bitcoin plus. And let's look at the 10K. These are the big whales. And, small increase while the price is coming down. To me, that shows divergence where price is coming down, but people are still stacking Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. They're removing it from exchanges. There's still new addresses being, this receiving addresses, wrong thing. There's still a ton of addresses being created. And one of the metrics that stuck out to me the most was that in 2000, okay, maybe I can't find, yeah, this is it right here. In 2018, look at this. In 2018, when we had the bear market, right after we saw a huge decrease of market participants, of people diving into the technology, starting out wallets. It took so much time for it just to explode in popularity. You can see the difference now where price is coming down, but we're actually hitting all-time highs. Like, we're just still exploding with new users, with new wallets, with new addresses. So I think people are starting to understand the power of Bitcoin, especially with what's going on, what happened in Canada, and what's happening right now. People need to protect their funds, whether it's gold, whether it's Bitcoin, or other assets like this. So to me, this is bullish. But how low can it go before we start turning around? And honestly, the markets, especially in crypto, they can get very fearful, and we can see huge dumps. Right now from the top, we are 50% yeah, about 50%, 52% down. So I was looking at previous huge pullbacks from the 2013 bear market. We pulled back about 72%, but after that, we had a bounce of about 100%. Same thing here. We pulled back 70% right here. And then we had 100% bounce, about 97%. So I don't want to be, fudded out of my position, especially since I didn't take some of these sell positions. And then somebody shared this with me right here. It's all over the internet. And I want to share it with you guys. So look, buy the invasion, buy the invasion, buy the invasion. And it kind of makes sense where you see so much sell pressure. I mean, because humans, it's all emotion. People are very emotional, especially with wars. You don't know what's going to come next. Maybe World War III, or maybe it ends tomorrow. And then the markets would get bought up by the invasion, by the invasion. Where you go wrong, or where you can go wrong, is if you're highly leveraged. And if you get liquidated, then you lose your coins. But if you bought Bitcoin and the price is just going down, anybody who bought Bitcoin and is holding it with the 4-year horizon is in profit. So with a highly speculative asset and a highly volatile asset like Bitcoin, you are not going to buy the top. You're not going to place $100 and just see it go up. It's very volatile. You'll see it go down. It could drop 10%, 50%, maybe even 70%. And that's where you employ the strategy just to keep buying more, especially, with a coin like Bitcoin. I'm not talking about like Shiba Inu or Dogecoin, or I'm not talking about these shit coins. I'm talking about Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. You want to stack these coins when they're at their, when people are very fearful, when people are claiming it's a bear market, Bitcoin's dead, the technology's dead, all that great stuff. So if you were buying Bitcoin at 70,000 almost, then this is a steal. It's literally 50% from the top. If we break these, the next area, in my opinion, would be the 20, this range right here. But I'm not expecting us to do that. We are in unseen times. I'm no war expert. I'm no COVID expert. The market, it's just kind of been like a movie. We're going from lockdowns and endless, vaccine mandates to this war. And I don't know how extended I feel, my heart goes out to people in Ukraine right now and to people in Russia. Nobody should be subject to that. That's pretty much it. I'm going to be traveling over the next 10 days to different NFT events, different crypto events. And I swear every time I go to travel, the market tumbles. And I get put in a weird position because I can't bring everything with me. I can't bring my crypto with me. And I'm going to be at these Bitcoin events. So I just I'm at mercy to the markets. I've, set myself up however I could, but I have some crypto with me that I'll be trading. But aside from this, we're in a clear downtrend. There aren't any buy signals right now, unless you're just dollar cost averaging, or unless you're just trying to buy on any support, which have been just blown out. So, I would wait for something decent, and whatever that is, wait for a buy, whether it's moving averages, or if you're even using this support line right here. But you want to be using stop losses, because we can easily fall another 10%, another 20%, maybe even another 50%. It's hard to say. I've never seen anything like this. I've never been thrown into different, world, pandemic, and then now talks of World War III. It's just, I don't think anybody could tell you where the market's going. Anybody who's not lying, of course, can't tell you where the market's going. I did mention on the 4-day that we saw a huge oversold RSI right here. And I also mentioned that usually when I see that first dip, we'll see actually another leg down in price, which we did get. But we are seeing a divergence where RSI is making highs and higher highs while price is making lows. So maybe we can get some sort of bounce here where we can, use some support somewhere around here. But if we break this right here, and then let me go to the daily. If we break this, this is kind of where I think a lot of people had bids. So I'm not sure how well this will hold, this area right here. But the 30, 32K would be the next, and hoping the 28K wick right here, where we made the low, would hold. If not, like, yeah, I mean, we're going to go see lows. It's going to be 26K, 24, 25K, 24K. Who knows? So just wanted to share my thoughts with you. Don't make any bad emotional decisions. The market is still in bounds according to the wolf wave that is forming. It is down, sure. The market hates uncertainty. Load up your bags. Nice seeing you, Dan. I was actually going to message you. I'm like, I haven't seen Dan in a minute. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully you are doing well. I know you're still with your analysis. I agree with you. I could see Bitcoin bump up to 50K, 55K, 56K, and that would be the ultimate dead cat bounce until we kind of, and I don't want to say like huge bear market, but maybe we just kind of cool off. We've seen huge amounts of money flow into crypto in the form of different vehicles like NFTs, DeFi, things like that, and now people are taking profits. There's so much uncertainty in the market. Let's see what the S&P 500s do right now. It's just a small pump, but doesn't look the greatest, honestly. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be traveling. So doing my best to still cover the markets. If any of you guys have questions, post them below. I have a stuffy nose and things like that. I mean, I don't know why I brought that up, but I'm going to be heading out to Florida tomorrow. I'm going to be leaving the snow. And then I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, but we're in a clear downtrend. Load up your bags, as Dan said, but be very careful. Right now, you're catching a knife, so you could use a stop loss or wait for that solid buy signal. That could be the 4 and 9 flip on the daily. You can go on smaller time frames, try and catch it on the 4-hour, and just as how active you want to trade. So aside from that, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Stick with your plan. It's I know it's really hard because I'm just thinking of all the market participants who got in, who bought here and who bought here and who bought here and who bought here. And this is their first time in a dip like this. They're probably losing their shit. So I just want to let you guys know everybody's been there. This is normal, especially if you have a long-term horizon and you're going to be investing for the rest of your life. If you're just trying to make a quick buck, then you just bought the wrong time, wrong place. Pretty much it. But if you're here for the long term, you are going to see cheaper prices, and this might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can pick some of the cheapest prices because the war or whatever talks about it has pushed down the market that low. And then think about it. Think in 5 or 10 years, when we're done with this COVID bullshit and then all this war stuff's out of the talks, I mean, what else is going to hit the world? I mean, hopefully we can just go into brighter times and, all this pandemic talk, all these mandates, all this war, what's going to come after winter? Spring and summer, right? So I think if we look at a horizon like that and stop being so short-sighted, there is a lot of gains. And I think that the GameFi, the NFT, the DeFi, it's still very in an infancy stage over the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years. If you stick with this, if you don't become a billionaire, you'll be very close. And I'm telling you that straight up, as honest as I can. And that's the route I'm taking. I'm going to stick to it. And if I don't become a billionaire, hell, I'm going to be as, maybe $900 million or whatever it may be. I'll be as close as possible. But aside from that, crazy times, nobody can tell you where the market's going. You can use technical analysis to help you, to give you an edge to exit and enter. And in these times when the market isn't doing much, you can learn how to short. You can learn how to read the charts. So when the market reverses into a crazy bull market, you're trading like a pro. You're swiping profits out like a pro. So use the time wisely. If you have any questions, post them below, join the Discord, and I will see you